Hey y'all, so we're back with our series of question videos that we're doing on Ask Me Anything, questions that I've had often over the years as a practicing clinical hypnotherapist. And we're looking at what hypnosis is, what it does, what it isn't, and some of the other questions from the other different modalities of healing that I help people with. And one of the questions I get often is, how do you break a belief system after years of, say, generational curses, dysfunction or malfunction, or past traumas, things that have been ingrained in people's families for years, going back generations? Well, that's an excellent question, and with that, it's when it comes to breaking a deeply ingrained belief system that comes from generations past, the different malfunctions or dysfunctions in the family or past traumas that people have dealt with, it's not easy, but it's possible. It really is possible. I know a lot of people get in that mindset that that's just the way it is, but the key in healing from that lies in understanding that these beliefs, no matter how long they've been handed down, are not permanent, and they can be transformed if it's approached the right way. Generational trauma involves patterns passed down through family systems. These patterns usually manifest themselves in limiting beliefs, especially about their self-worth or success or relationships that have been reinforced over and over again over time. These beliefs become a part of your unconscious programming, and they can influence your life without you even realizing that they're there. So, how do you start breaking those belief systems? Well, there's different things that have to be in place in order to do that. The first thing is awareness. It's key. It's the first step to recognize that that belief exists. We've got to be aware of it before we can approach it in any healing capacity. So, a lot of times we operate under these limiting beliefs without even being aware of it. So journaling, free writing is another tool that I highly recommend and use, and I may do a video on that later. But journaling, free writing, working with a therapist, coach, that can help you identify these recurring thoughts and beliefs that are holding you back. Um, for example, there's a lot of people out there that have the thought, I'm not good enough, or success isn't meant for me. Those are common thoughts and common reflections of generational curses and trauma based beliefs. So, questioning the belief is another tool that we need to do. Once we're aware of it, we've identified that that belief is there, it's important to challenge its validity. And you can begin by asking yourself questions. Is this really true? Or whose voice is this that I'm hearing with this belief? And a lot of times, beliefs that have been passed down are based on outdated, flawed, or distorted information. So it can be helpful to ask yourself, who taught you this belief? How has this belief been reinforced in your life? By deconstructing this belief's origin, where it started, who taught it to you, you begin to realize that it's not necessarily a universal truth, but rather something imposed on you by outside sources. Then once you've identified it, once you've questioned it, then you can begin creating new empowering beliefs. So the beauty of the unconscious mind is that it's highly suggestible, and it can be reprogrammed using affirmations, visualizations, hypnosis techniques, reframing techniques, NLP, tapping. are all different modalities that can help you to create these new beliefs that align with who you want to become and not what your past generations dictated that you should be. So you could replace those thoughts that we mentioned a while ago, I'm not good enough, with I'm more than enough. Or those thoughts that I can never succeed to I can succeed on my own terms. And you start shifting your focus to move to a more empowering place, telling yourself a more empowering story. And then we need to heal that underlying trauma. These beliefs are rooted a lot of times in unresolved trauma. And working with different modalities like hypnotherapy, tapping, MEMI, multi-channel eye movement integration. These can help you release this emotional charge that's attached to those beliefs. These techniques allow you to access and heal that unconscious mind where a lot of the trauma and learned behavior is stored. And healing trauma at the root enables you to stop repeating these old patterns and start creating a new path to yourself. And then you surround yourself with positive reinforcement. Changing a belief system requires changing the people around you. You've heard the saying before, you can't change the people around you, but you can change the people around you. And so you change those people around you, that environment that's exposing yourself to those negative thoughts. And you start surrounding yourself with people and thoughts that embody these new beliefs that you're creating. And by doing that, it'll make a huge difference. You know, there's communities out there that you can join. There's books that you can read. And there's content that you can engage in that reinforces these new mindsets, these new thoughts. So seek out role models, mentors who have broken through similar patterns. And they can provide guidance and encouragement. Breaking free from these generational belief systems, it's about liberating yourself from your unconscious stories that you've held in your mind for so long, and these stories that have held you captive. And while the process requires some time, consistency, and a willingness to dig deep, the reward is a life lived on your own terms, free from the shackles of the past. Each step that you take toward healing is a step toward reclaiming your power, not just for yourself, but for future generations as well.